Good morning, everybody. My name is Barry Schwartz, and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, April 4th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. We got the Google post-core volatility to talk about. Google spoke about, are there brand ranking signals? Reddit AI translated content seems to be overtaking Google search. And it's official, Google is allowing double serving of ads. Plus a lot more, so definitely stay tuned. This video is sponsored by Bruce Clay. Bruce Clay is one of the founding fathers of the SEO space, doing SEO before SEO was actually a term, since 1996. Bruce Clay is big into SEO training, so check them out at seotraining.com, and also check out their new tool to help you write content called prewriter.ai. It's really cool. Definitely check them out, and thanks to Bruce Clay for sponsoring. Thank you, Bruce. Okay, so on Wednesday, around April 2nd-ish, some April 3rd, well, April 2nd, we definitely saw some ranking volatility heat up. This is the first big search volatility spike since the core update finished a week ago or so. And it was less than a week since we actually saw this. So the spikes hit across all the tool sets. The chatter significantly spiked as well across the SEO community. So it definitely seems like something happened around April 2nd or so. Some people are saying whatever happened on April 2nd seemed to revert itself back on April 3rd and April 4th. So if you did see any big changes on April 2nd, maybe the things went back to where it was previously. I'm not exactly sure, but definitely take a look at that. A lot of people were impacted by that. I also posted a poll on the Google March 2025 core update asking people how are they impacted. I posted on X, I posted on LinkedIn, and there was also a Black Hat forum where they asked the same question as well. And generally, most people said there was no change with this March core update, but the next most popular answer on X was they were down, whereas on LinkedIn they were up. Of course, that's the vibe in those places as well. So it seems like this was a big update, but it probably wasn't as big as maybe some other core updates that we've covered in the past. Danny Sullivan, the Google search liaison, spoke about saying basically we don't have brand ranking systems. We don't say, is this a brand? What type of brand is it? And should we go ahead and rank it better because it's a brand? He said, no, we don't have a brand ranking system. And basically most SEOs probably don't believe them, but he's given this talk before about how we're not somehow trying to detect a brand and then rank based on it being a big brand, small brand, or whatever brand. It just feels like somebody's misquoting him and so forth. He said, people recognize something, whatever size, as it stands out, and that in terms of search, that may correlate with signals we use to reward content. May correlate. Again, not direct and so forth. It's a long thing going back and forth about, does Google use brand signals for ranking? And he's basically saying, no, we don't do that. Of course, a lot of SEOs don't believe him, but again, he said it again. Next is seems like Reddit is overtaking the Google search results, especially in specific regions. Their AI content, their AI translated content, specifically translated content, seems to be overtaking Google search. I think Lily Rave first spotted the big surge, and then Glenn Gabe dug into it. And Glenn Gabe wrote a whole big blog post around it on his blog at gsqi.com, so definitely take a look at that. And basically he's noticing that it seems like this is against the Google scaled content policy, but Google's letting it rank anyway. And if you go to the Google search results and search for stuff, you may see this stuff start to rank. And then if you click through to the Reddit results, it says, here's the original, which is a translated version using some type of translator parameter. Really, really interesting. It seems like it's being done intentionally, where Reddit's using hreflang to actually go ahead and try to get this stuff ranked. I'm not sure what Google's stance will be on this, but hopefully Google will respond. There's been literally days and nothing from Google yet on this. New from yesterday, Google wants to subscribe to your email list, your email marketing list, in order to automatically get more content for its own search results. So generally, Google will go ahead and crawl your website content and use their website content for Google search, for Google Ads, for Google Merchant Center, and so forth. Now, Google Merchant Center sent an email saying, we want your emails. We want your marketing emails. We'll either automatically subscribe to your emails. You can opt out, of course, but we're opting you into this automatically, and we'll subscribe to your emails. Or you could actually sign up this email address, which is in the blog post, to go ahead and get these emails so that we could go ahead and consume that content from those emails and then use that to build more search results, Merchant Center listings, and so forth to improve the search. Again, so this is pretty wild. Google's not just reading your content on your web page via whatever robot.txt file, commands that your directives you're giving them, but now automatically going to say, I'm going to opt into your actual emails to pull content from your emails. So you can opt out, but it's automatically opting you into this, which is pretty wild. Google News has fully transitioned to automatically generated publication page. This was supposed to happen at the end of March. It seemed to happen, and Google didn't say it didn't happen. And now the Google Publisher Centers are a complete mess. Nobody knows what's going on there, and everything is automated, which is, I don't know, not fun for publishers, but it is the new wave. Microsoft Copilot search, or Bing Copilot search, or whatever you want to call it, seems to be fully live. At least the tab to actually access it is available. This is spotted by Mayank at Windows Latest. And basically, he said Bing's AI search Copilot interface has changed, has now a sidebar for links, is rolling out to everyone, and shows up among other search tools for some queries. Previously, it was hidden. It was hidden previously. Now it seems to be available, which is pretty interesting. Maybe this is Microsoft's answer to Google's AI mode. Google now made it official. They seem to be allowing double serving ads starting April 14th. They came out with a new policy update saying the unfair advantage policy, which is basically talks about double serving, which nobody calls it that anymore for some reason, is now going to be allowing the same ad from the same company going to the same exact page as long as the ad is in a different ad location. So you can have the ad at the top of the page, exactly the same one, and at the bottom of the page or in the middle of the page or on the side of the page, you can have all of them double served, triple served, quadruple served, and that's all good with Google's new policy starting on April 14th. I'm sure advertisers somewhat like this, but I'm not sure the searcher will like this. But again, Google keeps making changes to go ahead and make more money. So keep that in mind. Google Ads is also testing a show more overlay on Google Ads. We saw this previously, but it wasn't like this. Now it's showing like 1.5 shopping ads, and there's a show more button there. This is spotted by Sachin Patel. When you click on the show more, it loads another row of ads. Again, Google wants to keep showing more ads so they could go ahead and shake your cushions. Google Local Service Ads was down all day on Wednesday, I believe, literally almost all day. And Local Service Ads advertisers were unable to log into their accounts and make changes to their thing. I think they were still serving the ads, but they weren't able to manage those ads. And Google's ad liaison confirmed it later, and then it was fixed towards the end of the day, where Local Service Ads finally was able to access this. This is spotted by a bunch of people. I'm not going to name them all out, but I will put them on the X to make sure I call them out there when I post this video. Google responds to the comprehensive PMax report, Performance Max report from Mike Ryan. Mike Ryan did this amazing report with tons of details about how Performance Max has been performing, and maybe it's peaked a little bit and so forth. So I definitely recommend you read it and so forth. And then the Google Ad Liaison actually responded to it because it was that good, providing some clarifications. I'm not going to go into all the details, but I definitely posted about that today on Friday, April 4th. So definitely take a look at that to get all the links you need for that. Google local panels seem to be missing the question and answers features. This started going away a couple days ago, first spotted by Greg Gifford, I think on Tuesday. And it seems like for most Google local knowledge panels on the right-hand side, the question and answers features is gone. I did reach out to Google saying, what the heck is going on? Google has not responded to me. I'm not sure exactly why, but it seems to be missing for most queries. Not all. I'm able to trigger it for some, as I showed it with my blog post, but it seems to be gone for most, and I'm not exactly sure what is going on here. Google's AI summaries now show up also in those local knowledge panels. We saw this examples of it in Google Maps showing AI summaries. Now they're showing in the local knowledge panels on the right-hand side. Amy Toman spotted this, and she noticed that you can actually go ahead and see more about the summary as well as report the summary to so issues. It is interesting that Google's doing this. I mean, it's pretty easy to summarize a business profile yourself as a business owner, but hey, Google's also testing in the AIO reviews the little disclaimer that says, check important info. And when you look at that, it basically is like, we want to put this disclaimer there to go ahead and say this might be hallucinating, I guess, or make sure you validate this information. Brody Clark spotted this, posted on SERPs alerts, so that's pretty interesting there. Just a little note this morning, it seems like I'm seeing a lot more of Google's AI overviews linking to Google search results a lot more often. I tweeted, posted on all the social networks, LinkedIn, Facebook, all that stuff. I covered that blog post a couple weeks ago, I think 3 weeks ago, but it seems like it's rolling out more where Google's actually linking its own AI overviews to itself. Also, Microsoft Advertising published a bunch of updates this week around new shopping campaign features, audience ads, PMax changes, and so forth, including new test feeds and a bunch of enabling features and so forth, and disclaimers. So definitely take a look at that. And finally, Google agreed to pay $100 million in a 14-year-old lawsuit, like class action lawsuit around Google Ads geo-targeting incorrectly to the wrong customers. Anyway, thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz. Thanks to Bruce Clay for sponsoring. Today is April 4th, Friday. Everyone have a great, safe weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Goodbye.